Hello everyone, and welcome to another Hearthstone deck spotlight. Today, got something a little bit different for you. I wanted to actually do kind of a bit of a double header. We've been seeing that Hunter has had so many amazing new cards from the latest set and didn't get hit at all by the recent surprise wave of nerfs. So we've seen a lot of Hunter decks come out, and in particular we've seen a lot of budget Hunter decks come out. Even I was informed just today that Death Star V3 Hunter Extraordinaire managed to take a brand new free-to-play account from, you know, rank 50 or whatever, all the way up to Legend or some very high rank in a day, essentially, about 8 to 9 hours. So, you know, lots of powerful decks. Even had Kripparian Salt Man Extraordinaire. Even came out with his own kind of budget beast hunter deck that went, you know, 24, 25 wins in a row, doing really well. So I wanted to kind of highlight those budget decks today. I've got two decks here which I want to talk about. The aforementioned Kripp budget hunter deck, which I really like. I've also got a deck here from Nandet, which is another beast budget beast hunter. So I'm going to start with Nandet's budget beast hunter, play some games with that. We're going to switch over to Kripp's. All the timestamps will be down in the description. And then at the end, we're kind of going to talk about both of the decks. We'll kind of compare some of the cards, compare our experiences with the two, and hopefully if you are out there looking to craft a budget beast hunter deck, hopefully this can help you choose which one you wanted to craft, to do. Choose which one to do. So we'll take a look at Nandet's budget beast hunter first. They've got a couple of interesting options here. I guess the whole strength of beast hunter, one of the biggest strengths of it, is this amazing 1-2 punch. It's having an awesome 1-drop beast, usually Diamol, sometimes Springpaw, any other 1-drop beast there. Nandet's got Helpless Hatchling in here. You're going to try and curve out and combine these with a turn 2 Crackling Razormaw or a turn 2 Headhunter's Hatchet, possibly even a turn 2 Scavenging Hyena. And you're going to try and take advantage of that by, you know, getting a big buff onto your Diamol, you know, plus attack, Divine Shield, even Death Rattle on the Springpaws or the Helpless Hatchling is great. Headhunter's Hatchet as well is going to help you control the board. You know, really helps against those odd paladins or in the mirror. And you're going to try and control the board from turn 2 using that advantage. Onto the 3-drops, we've got Bear Sharks, Kill Commands, Unleash the Hounds, Animal Companions. There's no Eaglehorn Bows or anything here, as it is a rare, and we are trying to be as budget as possible. But this is a very typical selection of Hunter 3-drops, particularly Beast Hunter 3-drops. Bear Shark combining extremely well with Houndmaster on turn 4. We've also got Flanking Strike in here, one of the better ways to compete on board whilst also building your own board. And lastly, we've got the top end here, the 5-drops of Stranglethorn Tiger and Tundra Rhino. Tundra Rhino definitely plays an interesting role in this deck. It can be quite threatening for a lot of people. And Stranglethorn Tiger could be a little bit of extra reach, hard to interact with. Your opponent's not going to be able to Hex or Polymorph or Fireball the Stranglethorn Tiger, so it can potentially get in for that last couple of damage that you need, combined with a kill command to, you know, give you that reach. So we'll jump into some games with Nandet's budget beast hunter first, and then we'll go and play Kripp's, and yeah, let's get some wins.
Might of the elves.
All right, here with the game with Nandet's budget beast hunter. Got our ideal 1 and a great 2, especially if this is Odd Paladin or some kind of Paladin that's very board based. Kill Command not so great.
None will survive.
Is Odd Paladin? But Diamol is the better 1-drop to have against them.
The light protects me. Death
Happy to just use our early charges to trade with our opponent's board, and hopefully our bigger minions can kind of take over the game.
Death comes.
kind of interesting that our opponent, what our opponent does this turn, rather.
Reporting for duty.
Maybe trying to waste charges off our hatchet, but I think we are kind of pretty happy to oblige. It was a very anemic turn. Definitely giving our opponent maybe a line in if they've got like a coin into like a Stonehill Defender or something. That's not too bad. Creeper is great. Creeper is fantastic. For our opponent, that is.
This was sent in by Morgan Davey. Keep it wavy. Morgan Davey, thank you.
Hash and Hydro. Now riding the wave. Thank you for the follow. Playing some budget Beast Hunter here. Trying not to get too overwhelmed. Getting a cost drop on the Stranglethorn Tiger is good because we can potentially go Tiger Hero Power next turn. Gives us a bit more throughput with our Hero Power, which is very important. Blessing of Might. Coin 5, you got a Fungal. No.
Reporting for duty.
War Eater? Oh, Purifiers more. I don't know if we can race this. We might be able to. What is this? Like 10? 10, then... we might be able to.
Job done.
The real issue is if they have like a Stonehill. Whoa, Raid Leader makes it a 2-turn clock, so I don't think we can race this.
Your peace.
The second Blessing of Might. Yeah. Well, that could give us the win if we get plus attack or Wind Fury. So we're definitely going to go for it. So that would be 8 plus 5 is 13 plus 2 is exactly. Got him. Ba-ba-da-da. Nice. GG.
Of the elves.
Okay, we're up here against the warrior. We have our 1-2 curve, so we'll definitely keep this, but I'm going to send the kill command back. Mostly because we want to use Kill Command as reach, but also because I'd love to hit a Diamol. I'd love to hit a Diamol or even a Helpless Hatchling. As if our opponent plays a turn 1 Ethereum Rover or something like that, it could be quite difficult for us. Wow.
None will survive.
Let's go. Odd Warrior. So we do have trackings in this deck. And I don't think this is a tracking deck. I think tracking is really important for...
Happy Feast of Wintervale.
Happy Feast of Wintervale, my friend.
Death comes.
Astonishing.
I think that... tracking is very important for decks like Spell Hunter. These decks that really need to hit their these decks that really need to hit their Rexars, they need to hit their Spellstones, they need to find their secrets in short order. Garrosh did nothing wrong. I don't like these. What is his name? Rufus the Red? Randolph the Red?
Astonishing.
I think we'll trade off this Lynx here. But yeah, I think tracking is really important for those decks. But for this deck, we don't actually have any really high priority things that we want to get. You know, if you think this is brutal, especially since we've already used our flanking strike. But I guess we do have the hatchet, so...
Death.
Our opponent probably needs an answer for this Tundra Runner. But yeah, I think early on in the game you don't really want to use tracking because you'd rather be deploying a proactive 1, 2, or 3 drop. Later in the game, if you have to tracking to try and find your Stranglethorn Tigers and Tundra Rhinos, you could just be playing more late game. Or more consistent, like hedging with more mid game. And even then, tracking for a card like Tundra Rhino or Stranglethorn Tiger just doesn't feel strong. Whereas tracking for like Rexa, that feels real strong. I want to get brawled.
What to do?
Astonishing.
Death.
My thanks.
They're definitely going to Reckless Larius. Which does suck quite a lot. They definitely have Reckless Flurry, right? Yeah. Damn it. In turn, follow-up is quite good. Could we have played around that better? I guess we could have just not committed to the Scavenging Hyena. We could have just played out our board, hear about it a bit more. Nine, 14, 16, and then on 22.
Astonishing.
Orbit's very good. Not a great draw. Maybe we didn't want to play as Helpless Hatchling. Hold it in case we get the other kill command. Yeah, now they can attack the hatchling to gain more armor.
Astonishing.
Oh my gosh, please stop.
Out of my jungle.
Oof. I don't think we're ever getting through two taunts, especially one as big as this. Give that a try.
Masterful. Mistake.
Yeah, I think we definitely goofed on that reckless flurry turn. We should have known that our opponent was likely to have some kind of board clear, and we could have been able to manipulate our board to not be so vulnerable to it. But we'll play to our... Okay, here with Kripp's Budget Beast Hunter. We're about to jump into some games with this. In terms of some comparisons between the two decks, I think Kripp's deck follows a lot more of what we've seen out of the non-budget mid-range Beast Hunters. I think this is kind of the consensus best selection of 1-drops in the deck. Diamol, Springpaw we saw previously, but Jeweled Macaw instead of the Hatchling. I think Jeweled Macaw can really help you fit in your curve. It could help you high roll and get some more late game minions in case you don't finish the game then. In general, I just think that getting more options and more resources is often better than, you know, reducing the cost of a single minion in your hand. Even though Nandet's deck kind of lended itself more towards that with Stranglethorn Tigers and Tundra Rhinos and things like that. We've still got the same kind of selection of 2-drops with Crackling Razormaw, Headhunter's Hatchet, and Scavenging Hyena, but we've also got Direwolf Alpha in here, so a card that we've played quite a lot of in a lot of our budget decks. Combos very well with Springpaw, another excellent 2-drop to drop on the board when you've already got a Diamol or a minion out there already. Gives us a lot more opportunity to trade. On the 3s, we've got Animal Companion, Bear Shark, Kill Command, Ornery Tortoise, and Unleash the Hound. So Ornery Tortoise, just a one-of, and we've played this in Odd Paladin. It was an absolute delight. It is a beast as well, so it's going to keep our kill commands online. Just a really big body, and often the damage doesn't really matter because, you know, we'll get to turn 7 or 8, run out of gas, our opponent will be on 20, and we're dead anyway. Doesn't matter if we're on 30 or 25, we're going to lose that game. So I really like Ornery Tortoise, and it'll be good to test this one out as just a one-of. We've also got Flanking Strikes, Houndmaster, exact same reasons that we mentioned before. And then instead of the Tundra Rhinos and the Scavenging Hyenas, we've got a Singleton Baited Arrow and 2 Fungal Mancers. And I think Fungal Mancer is going to be really good here as a way for us to kind of close out the game and really cement our dominance on board, as well as getting some extra face damage in there. So I'm liking the look of this list a little bit more, but once again, we could be totally wrong, and it might be the case where Stranglethorn Tiger and Tundra Rhino just give us so much more flexibility or reach in the late game that might be a bit better. So without further ado, we'll jump into some games with Kripp's Budget Beast Hunter. Okay, here against the Priest with Kripp's Budget Beast Hunter. No 1-drops. No 1-drops and none of our high impact 2-drops, to be honest. So I think I'm gonna roll the dice and actually full mulligan. Especially on the play, it's just so important for us to have a 1-drop. And I'd rather have like a 1-drop and 2 3-drops than have a
Feast of Wintervale.
like 2 2-drops and a 3-drop, right?
Happy Feast of Wintervale.
Not the best 1-drop here, but it could actually have some legs against the Priest. Depends if they have the Northshire Cleric. Awaken the Makers. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I was very much considering just going for the hero power next turn, as basically every deck that plays the quest and basically every quest deck plays Spirit Lash, unless it's some kind of odd quest deck. Resistant to Shadow Word Pain, that not many people are playing, or resistant to damage-based removal, which is definitely going to be a bit good. We got to take care of that Thalnos, because Thalnos Spirit Lash is just too painful for us. Priest just said kill me now. Well, let's see if we can oblige them.
Who to shoot?
Oh, we could have played the other links. We goofed that one. We could have played the, I totally forgot it was a Springpaw in our hand, not a Lynx, but we could have played the other links and traded the 2 rush ones in, which would keep our, give our Scavenging Hyena an extra buff. I don't think we need this Lynx, unless we draw like Kill Command and we need the Kill Command later, which is totally reasonable. Animal Companion Hero Power or Houndmaster? Kind of gonna go for Animal Companion Hero Power. Well, not the greatest result. Our opponent's on 8. They need 5 more. Things they could have a Mass Hysteria here, and I guess there's theoretically a Mass Hysteria roll that would kill a bunch of things. Hey, that's a pretty big, big hyena.
I'll let the dogs out.
Alright. It's turn 5. I mean, this is definitely a deck that can, like, just as you saw, like, that Spirit Lash gained them. What did we had 3 things, 4 things in play? There was like 6 things, they gained 12. Yeah. This game's definitely not over.
The dogs out.
12 HP. It was, they had 2 things, we had 4? I forget if we had 4 or 2.
Mind
Or
if I
3.
roll need?
Is this there?
You have been.
Oh, it is. Strong start. So, I mean, definitely, even though you can kind of see, even though it's a budget deck, we can just have such an awesome aggressive start and really make it tough for our opponent. Even a deck like that has so much AoE clear, so much removal. That being said, if our opponent had a Mass Hysteria rather than the Psychic Scream, I think we would genuinely have we could have lost that game for sure. If they had a Mass Hysteria whilst they were on like 20 or so. Much more different game. So GG's, well played to our opponent. Okay, here we are with Kripp's Budget Beast Hunter again, but this time it's a bit difficult. We're on the draw. We could send back 3. Yeah, I think we want to send back 3 and try and really try and hit that 1 roll. Even though we could coin out a 2. Yeah, okay, like this looks like a much better hand than, say, Headhunter's Hatchet, Dire Mole, Dire Wolf Alpha, rather. Scavenging Hyena, Animal Companion. And this Dire Mole just matches up so well against the Kobold Librarian. The question is, are we up against Control Warlock, or are we up against Zoo? And I'd say it's Control.
Death comes.
I think we're going to look to try and deploy this coin nice and early. Wow. Alright, let's go Ornery Tortoise. Do we attack? I think we attack just because
Death comes.
Control Warlock does play weapon removal sometimes. Does play Corrosive Ooze. The upgraded Spellstone. Got me. We'll keep the last charge. Slightly awkward board for our opponent. Hellfire. Mortal Coil! Oh. Not seen Mortal Coil in Warrior for a hot minute. Now we're kind of in emergency mode where we really need to make something happen in the next 2 turns or else we'll die. So...
Unity, precision, perfection.
Ziliax has been doing us a big hurt. Doing us a real big hurt. And look, if the metagame keeps going this way, that with a lot of these kind of mid-rangey hunter decks being really good, Ziliax is just going to be a better and better craft. I think the thing that people don't see, the reason why Hunter can be the best aggro deck, is they think it's tempo, but it's not. Damn it! Gluttonous Ooze ended up doing this. An interesting statement there, Hydro. It's real bad, isn't it? Because this whole board dies to Defile. Yep.
This will be a mercy.
I guess Godfrey would have played that. Would this deck be able to go to late game if you had Deathstalker? 100%. 100%. Rexar... The reason Rexar is so... One of the reasons Rexar is so powerful in Hunter is that it's one card that actually gives you a genuine shot in a lot of matchups in the late game.
Darkness rises.
What can we do? Oh, they're going to take out the beasts. Gives us an extra turn to live, though. So now, even though they took the option away from us to play Kill Command, they actually gave us another turn to draw Kill Command, because we already had a beast in hand. That's a nice heads-up play. It's a good heads-up play. I like that. Coil your own boy.
Well played.
Well, let's munch our boys first. Ah, look at that big, thick Void Terror.
Well played.
GG's.
Masterful.
Yeah, our opponent did really well there. They had the right tools. I think we definitely goofed on playing into a Defile that wasn't there. But maybe that was our out, is to just hope that the Defile wasn't there. So, GG's, well played. And yeah, let's go on to the outro. Alright, we are here with our two budget Beast Hunter decks. We've got Nandet's budget Beast Hunter and of course Kripp's budget Beast Hunter. We've played some games with both of them, and you know, budget Beast Hunter and Beast Hunter in general is something we've been playing a fair bit of over the last couple of weeks. I will say I think both of the decks are mostly similar. They're actually very, very, very similar, but both have two kind of different advantages in a way. I think Nandet's deck with this kind of thicker 5-drop slot, Stranglethorn Tiger gives you a bit more reach, as you know, it kind of functions as a bit of like a slow 2-turn 5-damage fireball that costs 5 mana, unless your opponent sets up a taunt, but you know, your opponent can't interact with it, and getting to those, turn 4, 5, 6, that's generally when your opponent has more ways to interact with you. So I like that. Also, there's a little bit more onboard combo potential with Tundra Rhino. It's just another thing your opponent has to answer, or they risk, some potential things like charging Bear Sharks, charging flanking strikes, and things like that. Ultimately, I think Tundra Rhino is probably not as big a threat as many people think that it is. But they still feel the need to answer it, which can kind of give you a bit of an advantage. The one disadvantage to Nandet's deck is I don't like this Helpless Hatchling, and I don't like these trackings. Whilst Helpless Hatchling probably does help with the Tigers and the Tundra Rhinos and things like that, I'm much more of a fan of the 1-drop selection in the Kripp deck, which is the Jeweled Macaw, Springpaw, and Diamol. I think that this deck is a lot closer to the proper non-budget Beast Hunters. So if you're looking to start with a deck and maybe see if you like it, then upgrade into that deck, this is where I would start. Just a lot more consistency with this deck, a little bit more high roll potential with that Jeweled Macaw, and I think I like the 5-drops a bit better. I think the 5-drops are better at getting the game done before your opponent can kind of turn the corner, whereas I think the Nandet's deck better at giving you an extra couple of turns to finish off your opponent. Definitely what I would recommend is if you're unsure of which version you want to play, look, all the cards that are different are all commons. Craft both decks, give them a shot, see which one you enjoy more. I mean, my personal preference would be the Kripp one, but let me know if you prefer the Nandet deck. Have you got your own budget Beast Hunter that you've been absolutely slaying the ladder with? Let me know. Let me know your list. If you're watching on YouTube, of course, all the links are down in the description, including a link over to both of the Hearthstone deck articles, both the one for Kripp, both the one for Nandet. Jump over there, give both of them a +1, leave a lovely, thoughtful comment, like I know you will. None of this negativity. Don't compare the decks. Just make some nice statements, which cards you like, and maybe leave some constructive criticism about the cards that you don't like. You can also get my details down there as well. You can catch me on Twitch, which is where we're streaming right now, at Tommy_Wave, or if you've got a sick Budget Beast Hunter deck, you can send that to me at Tommy_Wave on Twitter. Until next time though, stay safe, stay wavy, spring some paws, eat the rich, and be good to each other. Bye! I hope you enjoyed that video. Check out other ones over here, or come subscribe to the Wave Pool for more excellent times.